How's it going, everybody? Tim here, and back with another Greyhound video. And today I want to talk about my worst experiences on the Greyhound bus. Um, those who don't know, haven't watched my other videos. I've ridden the Greyhound bus a lot. Took a lot of cross-country trips on the Greyhound, 2-3 days, trips like that, and also done a lot of shorter trips, couple hours or one day, things like that. I ride the Greyhound bus a lot, A, because I'm cheap and I like the prices, and B, I just like, seeing the scenery, and just looking out the window to me is like the best form of entertainment you can find. A lot of people think I'm crazy how much I ride the Greyhound, especially when it's easier and quicker to fly, but I like riding the Greyhound. Anyway, so I see a lot of people making videos about like their worst experiences on the Greyhound bus, and a lot of them are downing the Greyhound bus. I personally will say that for the price, I feel like it's a great service, and I've only had a few bad experiences, but I did figure I would chime in. In all honesty, I'm not going to always make videos saying how good Greyhound is. I figured I'd also make a video talking about some of the bad things I've had happen. Probably one of the worst things I had happen, as far as just like scheduling. I was in Bozeman, Montana, and I was set to get on the I was going back to Florida, so it was going to be a 3+ day trip, and I was set to get on the bus. There's only one bus. It's actually not in Bozeman, Montana. It's in a Belgrade, but they're close by. So I was in Bozeman. I had to rent a hotel in Belgrade to spend the night because the bus left at 2:35 in the morning, 2:35 a.m. So I got to Belgrade at like 7 p.m., stayed overnight, had to spend like $75 in a hotel room. Got up at 2:35, went to the bus station. It was freezing cold. Me and another guy were standing there. We're talking, we're chilling. About 2:30, we see a bus pull in. The station is actually just like a shed on the back of the gas station, of this big Pilot gas station. So we're just standing there talking. We see a bus pull in and go over to like the gas pumps. So we figured that's the bus. He's going to gas up. He's going to come over and pick us up. So we're excited. We got our luggage together. About 2:40, we start to wonder, what's going on, because we still don't see the bus. About 2:45, someone who works at the Pilot gas station was like, "Are y'all getting on that bus over there?" And we were like, "Whenever it comes around here." He's like, "Well, you might want to go check on it because it's been sitting there a while." So we got our stuff and we're about to walk around to the gas pumps to check on this bus, and we see the driver coming our way. And he's like, "Hey, y'all guys riding the bus?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, my bus only seats 150. And he's like, "I already got 150 people on there now, so I won't be able to take y'all." And we're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, my bus is full. Apparently there was a bus that was late. The earlier bus for going somewhere was late, and it broke down or something. They had to cram everybody from that bus on the bus we were about to get on. And so, yeah, he couldn't take us." And we're just like, "What?" And the next bus, the bus there only runs once a day. So the next bus was going to be 2:35 a.m. The following morning. And he's like, "Yeah, sorry." He's like, "All you got to do is come to the station, get your ticket, scheduled for tomorrow. You'll be good to go." Of course, that station is only open from like 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So I had to go back to my hotel, book another night. Fortunately, I had the money. But the guy I was there with, I think he got a hotel too, or he went and stayed with somebody. But, fortunately I had the money. I came back at 1, and in Greyhound's defense, they did put me on a flight. Put me on they just updated my ticket for the next day. There was no cost. It was super easy. But I had to wait a whole 24 hours before I could get on the bus. And then, of course, I was nervous that this bus too, might be full. But, the next morning, same ordeal, 2:35, got up there. It's me and the same dude. And this time we got on the bus, no problems. So, that was a bad experience because it set me back a whole day. Fortunately I had the money. If I hadn't had the money, or, if I just had someone drop me off, I would have had to call my ride back, would have had to try to find a place to stay. So, that was a real bad experience. It wasn't so bad for me, but it could have been worse. I always tell the story to tell people, keep in mind, these things like this can happen. So if you're taking the bus to go somewhere and you have to be there at a certain day, I always say give yourself a couple days leeway, so that if the bus is late or you do have to go on the next bus or something like that, you're not going to miss whatever appointment or function or, family reunion or party or whatever it is you're going to do. Give yourself a couple days. If you're going on Greyhound to start a new job somewhere, give yourself 2 or 3 days leeway. because things do happen on the Greyhound. And actually, on that same trip, it was that was probably the worst trip I've had. And it really wasn't, it was just delays. It was that 24-hour delay in the beginning. And then in Atlanta, we were late getting into the station because there was traffic. So I missed my connection, and they actually put me on the next bus. So it was only 2-hour delay there. And, yeah, so I was a day and 2 hours later getting home, basically. But one thing about that delay too, I'd already looked up on my Greyhound app, which I recommend you have on your phone. I looked up on my Greyhound app, and I knew when the next bus was coming. I ran to the desk and was like, "Hey, I was late. My bus was late getting in. Can I get a ticket on the next bus?" And it was no problem. She tried to charge me $20, but I was like, "Nah, the bus was late, so it wasn't my fault." She ran out there and checked. It was all good. So Greyhound works with you. They help you out. But some people probably didn't get on that next bus because they, were clueless. But that's why I say always check your ticket, see where your transfers are, what time you're supposed to be there. If you're late getting there, be the first one up at the desk, trying to get it worked out and solved. The other bad experiences I've had on the Greyhound were at stations, and it's just the type of stuff that sometimes it's going to happen, sometimes it's not. I was in Orlando here recently, and I was just waiting for Uber to come pick me up and take me to my hotel. And I actually, when I booked the trip, I was like, well, the hotel was like right down the road. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just get off the Greyhound and walk to my hotel. When I seen the neighborhood it was in, I was like, nah, I think I'm going to take me a taxi. But the cab drivers were being stupid, so they didn't want to give me a ride. So I called Uber, and Uber had me there, 5 minutes. It was $5. But I'm waiting outside for my Uber, and this dude comes up and pretty sure he was a dope boy. Cause they like to hang around Greyhound stations some days, cause they ain't got nothing to do sometimes when they ain't selling nothing. And maybe they looking for customers. I don't know. But there was a bunch of them just hanging out, and one dude was obviously on something. And he just walks up and just starts talking trash to all the people outside. He's just steady, blah, 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 blah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Getting into everybody's face. Like me, I seen him coming, cause I'm always, cautious when I'm traveling. So when I seen him coming, I backs up to the wall and blend in with the crowd. But there were some other people who weren't paying attention. I guess they wasn't worried about it. So dude's all up in all their faces, and one dude looks back at him. He's like, "What you gonna do?" Bam! And just hits the dude dead in the face. Dude was just minding his own business, but just kind of made the wrong move. Dude hits him slap in the face, and so his boys are pulling him back. The other dude and a couple of the guys on the Greyhound, they're trying to get into it with this dude. Finally, someone went in and got security, and they came out and handled it. By this time, I had grabbed my bags and went inside. Y'all was not getting me. I was staying in a hotel in Orlando, and then I was flying out the next day. I was like, I'm not gonna get caught up in this and miss my flight tomorrow. So I went inside. I wasn't having it. But things like that are kind of the other bad experiences I've had. Like I said, none of them really involved me. I've been at other stations where dudes was causing trouble and getting all in people's faces, and probably one of the other worst experiences I've had was in Chicago, where I actively saw people scoping out people's bags to steal. I seen the dudes looking at my bags and looking at me and looking at other people and looking at their bags. And I seen it was some Asian tourist one time, and they had their bags in a cluster and walked away. And I seen the dudes go over there they ready to steal one of the bags in plain sight, and security had turned that way, and so they walked away. But other than that, those are probably those are the worst experiences I've had. Like I said, and really nothing physical, knock on wood, or whatever I can find to knock on around here. Nothing physical, no physical harm has been done to me. Just been people, being rowdy at the station, a little violence on other people. Sometimes you get on the bus and, people have some things to say. I got cussed out one time because a girl asked to borrow my phone, and I was like, "Oh, I don't have one," which I shouldn't have lied. But later my phone rang. I answer it. So she turned around and cussed me out. But I'm not letting you use my phone on the Greyhound if I don't know you. Really? Especially if you're looking sketchy. We just had got on the bus, and she's like, "Can I borrow your phone?" And we were up by the front. She could have grabbed it and ran off the bus. Not getting my phone. So, yeah, those are my worst experience on the Greyhound. I know a lot of the people, when they talk about their Greyhound experience, they get all mad and aggravated. My thing is this: Greyhound has thousands of buses, thousands of employees, hundreds of stations. And, since it is so cheap, you're going to get a lot of people, you're going to get a different subset of society on there. If you're worried about running into people like that, fly. Step your money up and get on an airplane. But, if you like me and you want the cheap ride, well then you're gonna have to deal with some of that type of stuff. But all in all, I think Greyhound is a great way to travel, and like if it's not happening to you, it's entertaining. Like I see lots of crazy stuff happen on the bus. People get kicked off the bus, get into it with the driver. It's funny to me. It makes the trip go quicker. So yeah, those are just my worst Greyhound experiences. Unlike the rest of y'all, I'm not gonna down Greyhound. I ride the dog heavy. So yeah, and if you have any questions, you're thinking about riding Greyhound, you have any questions about it, check out my channel. I try to answer a lot of questions about riding Greyhound, and things like how to stay safe, and smoke breaks, and how much luggage can you take. Answer a lot of questions, so check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching. Y'all be safe.